Uh, Good morning, good afternoon, and good day, everyone. My name is Abubakar Isa, and on behalf of Gamji Educational and Mentorship Forum, and I would like to open this webinar, which we are going to is going to be based on question and answers regarding Korea Government Scholarship. So today, 15th of February, 2025, we are going to entertain all your questions. And together with me, I have two of my colleagues, uh, Dr. Jabir Ali Muhammad, whom a PhD student at the International University, and also Mahmoud Bako Ibrahim, whom also a PhD student at the Chumbuk National University. So, however, we welcome everyone to this webinar, and so when I hand over the mic, if you have any question, so you can just raise up your hand, and also before asking the question, try to introduce yourself and then ask your question. So I think without much waste of your time, I would like to hand over the virtual mic to my colleague Jabir Ali Muhammad so that he can make some presentation. Thank you. Mr. Jabir, Bismillah.
Thank you, Abubakar, for your kind introduction. And hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, which will be basically talking about the 2024 Global Career Scholarship. So, in today's webinar, we're going to briefly discuss about the application guidelines and tips about the graduate degree scholarship, both the MSc and the PhD. So this on behalf of my colleagues and the entire community of the Gamji Educational and Mentorship Forum. Hence, we first aim to. So now a brief introduction about this scholarship is that the Global Career Scholarship is designed to give opportunities to the participant of one of the participating institutions, so that it can enhance and foster a good mutual relationship between the Korean government and the governments of the participating institutes. So this program is mainly decided by the National Institute for International Education, known as the NIED, and the website where they post all the information is the studyinkorea.go.kr, which is run by the Korean government. So next, let's take a look at where this study will be conducted. So this is going to be in South Korea, which is located on the eastern part of Asia. So South Korea is a country with almost a population of 50 million people, where you can find so many foreigners from different parts of the world. So let's take a look at some of the facts about South Korea. So this is the one of the highest, one of the seventh highest country on Human Development Index.
Wallahi wata webinar ce da mu.
World's 12th largest economy by GDP, and one of the world's fastest internet connection and high-speed railway. So in the academic curriculum of the South Korea is highly developed and rigorous education system, where it's mostly about research and development. And the interesting thing about South Korea is that almost 97.9% of the population are educated, and 70% of the high school graduates in South Korea go on to attend universities. So what are the benefits offered through this Global Career Scholarship? So the Global Career Scholarship, it's a scholarship that covers the airfare, the tuition fee, the Korean language training fees, and also the monthly allowance, which will be enough and it will suffice for you to pay for your national health insurance, your accommodation, and the monthly upkeep. So for the Korean language program students, they are entitled to have in excess of 40 million Korean won per annum. And also for the degree program students, they are entitled to almost 60 million Korean won per annum. And for the research program, the postdoctoral researchers, they are entitled to close to 20 million Korean won per annum. So next, looking at the how is this program structured? So it's through three different tracks. First of all, we have the master's degree, the doctoral degree, and also the research program. So in the case of the master's degree and the doctoral degree, you need to undergo a rigorous training of 1 year for Korean language program. And then for the master's degree with additional minimum of 2 years for your master's degree program. And for the doctoral degree, 3 years minimum for your doctoral degree. And in the case of the postdoctoral researchers, this will be for a period of 6 months or 1 year in maximum. So next, this begs the answer to the question that how is this application being applied? How can we proceed with our applications? So this can be done through the embassy track, and in the embassy track, 720 candidates will be given this scholarship, and through the university track, 1,100 candidates will be selected for this prestigious scholarship. So which makes it a total of 1,822 candidates. But every country that is participating in this program, they are allocated a specific quota for which they can be given this scholarship. So in the case of our country, Nigeria, the embassy track will be given to 6 people, and the university track will be given to 5 people, making a total of 11 people in general. So the shortlisted universities information will be, you can get the in-depth details about the universities that are shortlisted for this program at the website of www.studyinkorea.go.kr. So navigating through this website, you could see a format like this. So after selecting the GKS, you will see a region where they mention about the application guidelines of Global Career Scholarship for 2025. Upon clicking this website, you will see the link where you can download these documents, the application guidelines, the application forms, and the university information, which is in form of 2 files, both Korean and in English format. So next, what are the universities that are available that we can go and make our applications to? These universities are categorized into two. First, we have the Type A and then the Type B universities. So usually the Type A universities are the most competitive universities, and the Type B universities are less competitive. And the reason is that these Type A universities are mostly located within the capital city of Korea, which is Seoul. And whereas the Type B universities are located in different regions of the country, which makes them kind of quite less competitive compared to the ones that are contained in the most places of Seoul and other close by regions. So let's look at the embassy track application and the university track application in general. So the embassy track, this is also categorized into three. First, the general program, and also the integrated reconstruction talent scholarship, which is organized for the Ukrainian students, and also the overseas Korean. And this is for people that their parents are the indigents of Korea, but they are residing in a different country. But these people do not have Korean citizenship. And also in the case of the embassy track application, you can select up to 3 different universities, but I think the mandatory option must be one of the universities should be from the Type B universities, but you can also choose from the Type A university as well. In the case of the university track, this is categorized into 6 different tracks. First, the general track, which you can choose from the Type A or the Type B universities, the RGKS only Type B, and the research Type A or Type B universities. In the case of the research and development, this consists of 21 institutes which you can choose from, and also the global network institutes, made of 5 institutes only, and likewise the last one, which is the international organization, where you can choose either Type A or Type B. But in this case, if you are applying through this track, you need to have a recommendation from this international organization, which is a partner of one of institutes. So let's look at the eligibility criteria. So before you can proceed and make this application, you must fulfill this criteria for you to be selected as a successful candidate. So in this case, the NID designated countries, you must be a citizen of one of these countries. Luckily, Nigeria happens to be one of these designated countries. Likewise, for the MSc applicants, you must hold a bachelor's degree, and for the PhD applicants, you must hold both the MSc degree and the bachelor's degree. And for the postdoctoral researchers, a doctoral degree, master's degree, and the bachelor's degree. And additionally, you need to have a CGPA of 2.64 in the 4-point scale and 3.23 in the 5-point scale, which I think is mostly utilized by our universities in Nigeria. And the total score percentile should be 80% or above on a 100 scale. However, if you have a CGPA that is below the 3.23 mark, in this case, if you happen to be one of the top 20 percentile within your major, within your year and cohort, so you can have additional document testifying that you are among the top 20 percentile of your class. So in that case, regardless of whether you achieve the 3.23, you can proceed and make this application. And with regards to the age, you must be below 40 years. And also you should be in good health, both mentally and physically, for you to proceed with the application. Note that all the applications requirements might be different in terms of the university. So you should look at the additional eligibility requirement from each university. So let's delve in and look at what are the procedures for the selection process. So in the case of the embassy track, you are only expected to submit your documents to the Korean Cultural Center of Nigeria. And upon submitting these documents, they will make the evaluation and then select the candidates which they will recommend to the NIED. So after this recommendation, the NIED will conduct the second round of selection, then proceed to the third round, and then make the final announcement of the successful applicants. In the case of the university track, the first round of selection, you make your submission to the university of your interest, which they will recommend to the NIED, and then the NIED will make the second round of selection without any third round, and then they will proceed to make the final announcement. This is the timeline. The embassy will conduct the first round of selection at March, and then make the recommendation to the NIED in April, and then in the late April, they will conduct the second round of selection, then the third round of selection in May, and then the final announcement in late June. In the case of the university track, the first round of selection is still open until April, where the university will conclude all the recommendations to the NIED in late April, and then the second round of selection will be in late May, and then the final announcement for the successful applicants will be in late June. So what are the documents that are needed for this submission? So overall, there are some documents that are mandatory and some are optional. So let's take a deep look into the required documents, which are the mandatory ones. First of all, you need the application form, followed by the personal statement, study plan, and your letter of recommendation. Then you also need the GKS applicant agreement form, likewise the personal medical assessment, and the bachelor's degree and transcript for MSc applicants, master's certificate and transcript for the PhD applicants, and likewise proof of citizenship and family relations certificate. And although these optional documents are not mandatory, but they boost your chances of being one of the most successful candidates or to be a standout applicant. So looking at the documents for the first round of selection, what do you have to do? So in this case, like the document that I've just mentioned in the previous slides, you need to get some documents authenticated, such as the graduation certificate, the academic transcript, and the proof of citizenship. But how many of these documents do you need to submit to this either the university or the embassy? Well, it depends on which track you want to apply to. In the case of the embassy track, you need to have one set of the consular confirmed document, which are the legalized documents by the Korean embassy, coupled with the 3 photocopies of these documents. In the case of the university track, you only need one set of the apostille documents for the submission. And the reason is that, like I've made mention before, is that the embassy track, you can apply for up to 3 different universities. So they need to, if you are selected, they need to distribute your document to these 3 institutions you have selected. Whereas in the university track, you are only eligible to apply for only one university. So that's why they only need one document, not 3, without any additional 3 photocopies. So next, this is the timeline that is being shared on that is currently shared on the Korean Embassy website in Abuja. So this is from the studyinkorea.go.kr. Sorry, this is not from the study in Korea. This is from the KCCN. I made a mistake here. So they opened the application for the embassy track application in Nigeria. They made the application, they opened the application from February 3rd, and the deadline is on February 24th. So they will make the list for the shortlisted candidates for the first round of selection on March 14th. And oh, can you see? Oh, okay.
Yes, go ahead, I think.
Yeah, sorry. And then also they will announce the list of the successful applicants for the first round of selection for the interview on March 14th. And then for the interview will be done on March 18th. And then they will announce the final candidates on March 21st. So next, let's look at the documents that needs to be authenticated. So for the degree certificates, be it the bachelor's degree and the master's degree or the doctoral degree, you must be a graduate by July 31st of this year. And likewise, you cannot substitute with the other temporary certificates such as the completion certificate, graduate examination record, or the passing certificate. So this will not be accepted for the application. Rather, you need to have your original degree certificate for this application. However, if you can have a certificate of the graduation expected date, but you can proceed with the application. And also, you should be sure that you obtained your degree certificate by July 31st. Similar case with the academic transcripts, and also for the proof of citizenship and family relations certificate, they also need to be consular confirmed before you can proceed with the application. All right, let's go at the step-by-step guide on how to proceed with the application. So to authenticate your documents, either the BSc or the degree certificate and transcript, you need to first authenticate these documents at the Ministry of Education in Abuja, then followed by the Ministry of Education. So at the Ministry of Education, this you can only authenticate academic related certificates such as the degree certificates, the academic transcripts, WIEC, and other academic related certificates. But in the case of those that are not related to any any education related document, you can only authenticate this document at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Example is the family relations certificate. So after you authenticate this document, you can proceed to the booking of the appointment at the Korean embassy. After getting the appointment, you can go along with your certified documents from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and a copy of international passport to the High Court, because the academic related certificates and also the degree certificates, the transcripts, they can only authenticate on the original degree copies. However, you cannot submit your original documents, so you need to get them certified at the High Court. And after doing that, you should also obtain the letter showing that these documents belong to you, which is the certificate of ownership. And before you proceed, you also need the cover letter from your previous university, either be it from your registrar or from the dean, testifying that you were once a candidate, once a student of this university, and that these documents belong to you. So after that, you need to download the authentication file and attach the documents, and you submit to the embassy for your legalization. So this is the information at the website. I think it's just similar to what I've just mentioned now. The only additional information here is that about the cost of each document, so which is 6,000 per document, and only that they can notarize documents that are also from Niger, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. So next, let's look at the how the application form looks like. So this is the application form. You need to fill it out. You choose either you are applying through the embassy or through the university track. And also you need to take all the documents that you have attached to your application. So next is the personal statement, which is a key part of your writing. So in this case, you need to discuss about your motivation, why you are applying to this scholarship, your academic background, the experiences you have. So I think this one, it will be the wise decision to do to follow this instructions they have mentioned religiously. Take your time and develop it to perfection if you can, and then also start with something that will be interesting, that will attract the attention of your evaluator. Then you should be honest and create your own story. And do not underestimate the power of this personal statement. They carry a lot of weight. So this is a typical example of the personal statement which I've used, and I was selected for this scholarship back in 2021. So this is a sample of my personal statement. So I first discuss about my motivation and also my academic background, just following the instructions they have made mention of. So you have different story. Everyone's story is special. You just need to reach out and then craft it in a very clever way so that it will get the attention of your evaluator. Remember, you are just using this one to get into the scholarship. So you should do everything within your ability. But the most important thing for it is that you need to be authentic and make it real. But you cannot lie about this part. So next is the study plan. Also in this study plan, you are also expected to follow these guidelines, the plans you have for the language program, the goal of your study, and also the future plans you have for Korea and other countries, including your country. So this is an example of the one that I've used back in 2021. So I want to make an important statement here is that during this study plan, it is important for you to look at the current trend within your field of study. So back in 2021, one of the current trending topics, because I'm a graduate of biotechnology, and then I took advantage of the current trends back then, which was COVID-19. So everything that comes about research about finding cures for COVID-19, definitely it will get the attention of the evaluator. So I do encourage you to take advantage of the current trends. Like for example, if in the case of the biomedical field, if I'm going to make an application this year, definitely I'm going to focus on aging because currently it's being reported that the Korea is now a super aging society, which means that 20% of this population are of age of 65 or above. So the government is spending huge amount of money in the development of kind of cares for the aging related diseases. So if I'm to write an academic study plan in the case of my field of biomedical research or biotechnology, I'm going to focus on aging and incorporating it with artificial intelligence, such as the Asian clerk, something related to that. So I think you should take advantage of the current trends within your field. You don't necessarily need to follow this study plan that you have made mention of. The aim of this is just to allow you to get in so that you can be selected for this scholarship. So next, this is how the research proposal looks like, but this is only needed for the doctoral, postdoctoral researchers, but for the master's and the PhD degrees, they don't need to fill up this form. So next, this is the recommendation letter. So you will need to send this to your academic referee or to your referee. But the best one is actually your academic referee because they want someone that can talk about your ability to work independently in a team, your intelligence, academic background. So you should send this file to him, and then it should be signed and sealed, and then you can attach it together with the rest of the documents before you proceed with the application. It is important to know that the academic referee needs to sign across the back flap before it can be accepted as a eligible one for the application. So next, this is the personal medical assessment. You don't need any test before you can fill up this form, but it's important for you to be honest about your current mental and physical state. So next, the last one is the consent for the use of your personal information. So this one also, you just need to agree for this before you can proceed with the application, and do make sure to sign and write your name. Any document that is not signed and your name is not written won't be accepted for the selection. So overall, you can contact the Gamgee Educational and Mentorship Forum for your personal statement review at our website or at our email of gamgeedu@gmail.com. And with this comes the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. And then the floor will now be open for questions. Now I yield the mic to my colleague Abubakar. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jabir Ali Muhammad, for your wonderful presentation. And this is wonderful and very precise to the application. And so, without taking much of your time, I would like to invite Mahmoud Bako Ibrahim if he has any addition or anything to add regarding the presentation before we proceed to the question and answers. And however, if you have any question, you can just raise up your hand after after making all the presentation, then we can unmute you so that you can ask your question. Also, you can use the chat box to also ask all your questions. Thank you very much, Mahmoud Bako Ibrahim. So the floor is yours now. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam.
I would like to thank Dr. Jabir Ali Muhammad for a wonderful presentation, and also the anchor of the entire webinar, Abubakar Isa. Thank you very much, Ali Jabir Muhammad. It was really a good presentation, and I think you have done justice to the topic. So there is not really anything much I will have to add because you covered it from A to Z. So all we need to do now is we give the floor open to question and answer so that whichever question people have, we'll be able to respond to the questions. Thank you once more, and I give the floor back to Abu Bakar Isa.
Yeah, thank you, Mahmoud Bako, for your presentation. So if you have, we are going to post our email in the chat box. So if you have any question, you can contact us through WhatsApp, all our social media handles of the Gandhi Educational and Mentorship Forum. So now the audience, if you have any question, you can just raise up your hand and so that we can unmute you and ask your question.
Assalamu
Yeah, please
Assalamu
raise
alaikum.
up your hand first if you have any question so that we can see who can. Okay, wa alaikum salam. Please introduce yourself and ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
So my name is Sadiq Bashir Salu. So my question is specifically is about the supervisor's acceptance letter. Is it necessary for the acceptance letter to get acceptance letter from supervisor? This is my question.
So I think Jabir or Mahmoud Bako, anyone can answer.
Okay. Regarding his question, is it recommended for you to get an acceptance letter from a supervisor? Well, it depends. It's not really compulsory for you to get a recommendation letter from a supervisor, but for something like this, which is very competitive, if you get a recommendation letter from a supervisor, it will give you an additional edge over other candidates. And it's especially for those applying for university track. Probably if you don't have the recommendation letter from a supervisor based in one of the universities you are applying for, it's likely you are not going to get it, because the scenario you'll be looking at is um, thousands of people are applying, and likely the particular university you're applying to also has thousands of people. So by the time they are going through all the applications, and probably there are enough people that are eligible, so they will look at those that already have supervisor, because if you don't have a supervisor, that means by the time you arrive at the university, they need to assign you to someone, and maybe spaces are not available in the laboratories. So there is need for you to get a supervisor in order for you to have an edge. But nevertheless, because time is against us now, if you don't have a supervisor, you can still apply, and inshallah you might have a chance. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, let's go to Ridwan Musa. Please, you can ask your question.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, sir. My question is that I never heard any of the speakers mention about whether if an academic CV is needed in this scholarship application.
Please.
So I don't know.
Please, we can hear you very well. Please, can you speak
Okay.
louder?
Okay, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. So my question is that I never heard any of the speakers. I don't know whether if I joined late, but I never heard any of the speakers mention.
Sorry, we cannot hear you.
Okay. Sir,
Ridwan.
let me quit, sir.
I think
You can
I
proceed
heard
to the next.
I heard him the first time, like he's saying, is it academic CV is necessary, right? Ridwan Musa?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yes, that's the question, sir.
Okay, Mr. Jabir, you can answer this question. Maybe.
So you mean whether you need to include your academic CV into the application?
Yes, sir. That's what I mean.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for your question. I think if you go through all the documents that are needed for the application, such as the application form, there you can fill up the information about the universities you have attended, the points that you have graduated with. So I think it comes like in a format that you don't need to attach your academic CV to the application. All the application forms have already covered what needs to be covered in the CV section. So I think for the application, you don't need to include any academic CV for you to proceed with the application.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Sir, and the next is, please, I would like to kindly request that the presentation slide should be posted in any of your social media pages. I think it will be a quite important, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for
Okay.
your recommendation. So we have a WhatsApp group chat. Maybe you'll upload it there, or in case if you cannot be in the group chat, you can email us personally to the email address we have just provided. at gamgiedu at gmail.com. So we can send this slides to you personally if you are not part of the WhatsApp group, or you can provide us with your phone number. We can upload it in the group also.
Okay,
Okay,
and
thank you so
also,
much.
yeah, in addition, in the chat box, there is WhatsApp. You can join. Also, the email for the Gamji Educational that you can email us if you have any further question in the future. So let's go to the next person. So we have Hamza Ibrahim. So Hamza Ibrahim, you can ask your question.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I'm by name Hamza Ibrahim. My own is not a question actually. It's just I want to just add more light in regards to the process of authenticating your document before you went for the embassy for legalization. Actually, immediately after you finish with the Ministry of Education, the first thing that you need to do, you go to the Federal High Court in Abuja, the main Federal High Court. So after you're done with the affidavit for the certificate ownership, then you will go down to FCT Federal High Court for the certified true copy of your document. They will stamp it and put a seal on it. Because if you didn't do that, when you go to the embassy, they will ask you to go back. They won't even accept your document. Seriously, that's how I've gone through because I'm currently in Abuja processing for my visa. I recently got admission, a scholarship in Kumo, so I'm working on it. So when I had him discussing about that, then I say I need to talk about this process so that it won't be like a difficult for anybody coming down to Abuja to process his own application. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for your addition regarding the application process. So I think everybody now hear what you have just said. And also, please be careful because every process you have to go through a lot of processes before you send your document. Please don't make any mistake. So we are going to the next person, Usman Abdullahi. So Usman Abdullahi, you can ask your question. Please introduce yourself and ask your question. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, the Gamji Prom and the presenters as well. I am Usman Abdullah. I'm talking from Yobe State. My question here is, although I was joined the session lately, but I found out the presenter talking about the university track and embassy track. Please, can you enlighten me more because of I'm a little confused between the two.
So, Dr. Jabir, I think you can highlight in a brief.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your question. So, like we have just discussed briefly about the application tracks, which is categorized into two, the embassy track and the university track. So what makes it different is that for the embassy track, you need to have three documents to submit to the Korean Cultural Center of Nigeria. So after getting the consular confirmation from the embassy, from the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you need to photocopy like just the recommendation made by the last person that made this good recommendation. So after that, you need to have three photocopies coupled with the original consular confirmed document, but not the original copy. You should have the photocopy that was consular confirmed. And then in this application, you need to submit it to the Korea Cultural Center of Nigeria. Whereas in the case of the university track, you can only apply with one document, which is the consular confirmed document. You don't need additional photocopies. So this basically covers the number of documents you need. So with regards to the number of universities that you could apply to, in the case of the embassy track, you can apply for up to 3 different universities, but it is mandatory for you to apply to a university that is categorized into the type B universities. So in the case of the university track, you can only choose only one university and apply to. I think these are basically the main differences between the embassy track and the university track.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Jabir, for your answer. So I would like to call the next person, Ramatu. Please, you can ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everybody.
Alaikum salam.
Okay, my name is Ramatu Diallo. You mentioned that there are specific countries that can actually apply for this scholarship. So I'm a foreign student that's schooled here in Nigeria. So I want to know if Guinea can participate for this scholarship.
Okay, thank you for your question. I will hand over the virtual mic to my colleague Mahmoud Baku so that he can answer this question.
Okay. I don't have a particular answer regarding Guinea itself, but I think most countries are eligible. So what you need to do is maybe you get the list of previous candidates that got the scholarship. From there. You see all the countries that are available. I think but mostly I think most countries are included. Now, what is stated here regarding Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and Liberia is those that do their authentication in the Abuja or Lagos embassy. That's what is stated there, not the eligible countries. So I hope
Okay.
you get it.
Okay, thank you very much.
So I
Jabir,
would like to add
do you
something.
have anything to add regarding this question?
Yes. So with regards to that, you need to hold a citizenship from a participating country before you can apply for this scholarship. But I have gone through the list, and unfortunately, Guinea is not one of these participating countries. But unless you have citizenship of the other countries that are participating in this program, then you can apply for that.
And also, in addition, I don't know if there is one of my friend which is a Gambian. So he told me that when they want to authenticate their document, they used to go to the Senegal. Like there is no embassy in. So I don't know if the problem is almost the same thing, but I'm just giving an information regarding the application process. Thank you very much for all your answers. So I would like to call the next person, Usman Musa Shehu. Usman Musa Shehu. Please introduce yourself and ask your question.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Please, my question with regards to the university track. After authenticating my document, am I going to upload it to the university website that I am applying to? That's my first question. And the second question is more of like a complaint. There was a time that I attended a session like this organized by Gamji, and they made mention that anyone that needs a mentorship in specific academic endeavor, he may reach out to Gamji maybe via their mail. And I did so. I'm still undergraduate I'm in my final year, electrical engineering, and I have interest in research. I just want to publish even if it is a review paper before I graduate. So I send an email to Gamji that I need some kind of mentorship on how I can go about it like a month ago, but I didn't get a reply yet. So please, if maybe you are the one that is managing the email. I would like to know if my email has reached you or I should have to resend it again. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Usman, for your. We are going to reply to you back if we check if the email is there. And thank you for that question. So I think let's go to the next person. Yusuf Gan.
He asked a question about whether if the application is for the university track is online or not.
Okay. So
Yeah,
Jabi,
so
thank you.
replying to his question is that the whole entire GKS application process is not done online. So you need to submit hard copies to the address of the university, which is provided on the university information document. So after identifying your university of interest, you need to identify the location of this university, copy the address, and then after gathering all your documents, then you send them through any courier service, be it DHL or any other form of service that will get it to South Korea for you. So that's the case for the university track. And likewise for the embassy track, you need to submit hard copies to the Korean Cultural Center of Nigeria, which is located in Abuja. So, and also with regards to the review paper, I think that's a good initiative. And also we will get back to you soon, inshallah.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Jabir, for your answer. So let's now I will invite the next person. Let's go to the Deborah. Deborah, please ask your question.
I can't hear anything.
I think we can go to the next person. Probably she's not available right now.
Okay, so let's go to the next person. And Apis,
Okay.
please introduce yourself, then
Assalamualaikum
you can ask your question, please.
Oh, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, I want to ask about the first round of selection. I think this varies according to the country. Then I think this meeting is particular about Nigerians applicants. So I want to ask if there is a need to authenticate the education certificate for the first round of selection.
Actually, I didn't get your question. Mahmoud, have you
Okay.
got this question so that you can answer?
All right, let me come again, sir.
Okay.
I said the making use of the embassy track. I think country determines the document to submit and whether to certify or authenticate the document required. So I want to ask if Nigeria embassy, the Korea embassy in Nigeria, requires applicants to authenticate their certificate before bringing it down to the embassy.
Okay, Mahmoud, can you answer this question?
It looks like the candidate has not actually started doing the application. Maybe he's planning to do maybe next year, but actually it's something that is uniform. Any applicant that is applying to Korea, whether it is in Nigeria or any other country, the processes are the same. And what it involves is you need to notarize, which is like authenticate all your academic documents at the Ministry of Education, which includes if it is master's, your undergraduate degree certificate and transcripts, with your birth certificate, parents, proof of citizenship, those ones, you do it only at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So all of these documents, you need to notarize them, which is done at the Ministry of Education. Then it is taken to Ministry of Finance. After that, you can't do Ministry of Finance without doing Ministry of Education. So I hope that
Okay.
answers your question.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mahmood. Sorry. Can I am presently in Kwara State. So then I think there is a federal Ministry of Education branch in Kwara State. Can I authenticate my document there?
In where?
Kwara State.
No, I think what he means here is Federal Ministry of Education, and you can only find it in Abuja. And also Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, also in Abuja.
Okay. Does that mean that I mean there is a branch of Federal Ministry of Education in Kwara State. There is a branch at the Federal Secretariat in Kwara State. So I mean, can I do it here in Kwara State before taking it down to the consular embassy?
Well, I think for that your question, since you live in Kwara State, maybe you can go down there and ask them. But the issue is, even if you do that of Ministry of Education in Kwara State, you still need to come down to Abuja and go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to do that of Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So I think the best thing is for you to get yourself ready, then you come down to Abuja and do everything. I think that would be a better advice for you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Thank you.
Welcome.
And
Okay.
additionally, also, I think there is a specific department that is in charge of the authentication of the documents at the Ministry of Education. So, and that department, I think it's only there at the Abuja main branch. So I don't think even if you have the branch there in Kwara State, they can do the authentication process for you. So, like my colleague suggested, that it's better if you can go to Abuja and do everything at once.
Okay, thank you, Jabir, for your clarification. So I would like to go to the chat box and if to answer, to read some questions so that I will hand over to you so that you can answer. So this one is saying, the Abubakar Siddiq Suleiman, the personal statement can be of what length? If there are guidelines in terms of length for the writing the personal statement. So I think that's what he wrote. So maybe someone can respond to this. If there is any length of the personal statement.
So I'll respond to this. So the length of the personal statement is that it shouldn't exchange 3 pages, and that you should use the Roman Times New Roman 11 points. So overall, all that you need to cover should be within 3 pages of length.
Okay, I hope we answered this question. So I think let's go to someone is asking for the WhatsApp group. So just contact us through the email address so that we are going to add you in the WhatsApp group. So there is, okay, Deborah is saying, good morning, sir. Please, I would like to know the document we are to legalize at the embassy, since you said that proof of citizenship of applicant must be proven. Do we legalize our birth certificate and WAEC result? And for the birth certificates, do we also need to prove certificate of ownership at the High Court, since we cannot submit original copy? So I think someone, Jabir or Mahmoud, can answer this. Jabir, bismillah.
Okay, I will take this one. So for the documents that you need to legalize, so first of all, if you are applying for the master's program, you need to legalize your degree certificate, which is the bachelor's degree, and also the bachelor's transcripts. But I think one of the requirements from the Ministry of Education is that you also need to include your WAEC result also. So coupled with that, I think then you can also proceed to the ministry. In the case of those that are applying for also the doctoral, you also need to do the same with your MSc degree certificates and transcripts. And then you can proceed to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So in this case, you will need to include your family relations certificate and also the academic related certificate as well. So after that, then you can take the photocopies of these documents and together with the original documents submit to the embassy for the legalization. And with regards to the birth certificate, whether it also needs to be uh, legalized, for this one, I think the only birth certificate that is, I think, recognized is the one issued by the National Population Commission. So I'm not sure whether you also need to legalize this one or not. But Bakar, you can clarify about this part, whether she also needs to legalize the birth certificate or not.
Yeah,
And
Okay, I'm coming. I think I have an answer to this because I did mine, I think, last year. Actually, for birth certificates, what matters is for it to the reason for it being legalized is for them to make sure that maybe it belongs to you or something like that, and that's why you need to go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So it doesn't matter who issues the birth certificate, whether it is issued by a hospital or by the National Population Commission. Like in my case, my birth certificate was the one issued for me when I was born at the hospital, which belongs to the hospital and is a private hospital. And I remember after all my documents have been authenticated at the Korean embassy, it happened not to be notarized at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And they actually told me that this particular document has not been notarized. So I had to take it alone to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And once they did that, once it was notarized for me, I brought it back to them. Usually they together with a photocopy, and I submitted the photocopy to them. And I think that's also whichever birth certificate you have, you need to take it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for them to notarize it for you. And once it has been notarized for you at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, it becomes a valid document that could be accepted. Thank you.
okay. Thank you very much for Mahmoud for your clarification. Also, I also faced the same challenge during sending my application, in which the birth certificate was missing, but later I sent it for the admission. So here someone is asking about the video, the complete video. So we have a YouTube channel that you can go and watch this video later. So you can watch it through the Gamji Educational and Mentorship Forum, which we have a channel in the YouTube. And someone is asking the NIIE. So someone has. So please, there are some questions that you don't have to ask them here. They are all in the document, the study in korea.go.kr. So you can go there and okay, let's go to this person, Yahya Lawan. Please, Yahya Lawan, please ask your question, Yahya Lawan.
Yes, good afternoon all. My name is
Yeah.
Shahada. My question is that about the recommendation letter. I think that they want a recommender to sign on the flat envelope for the 3 copies of the recommendation letter. So of when your recommender is outside Nigeria and he sent you a soft copy to print it and seal into the envelope?
So, thank you for your question. I will hand over to Jabir. Please, Jabir, can you answer this question?
Oh, okay. So if I get your question correctly, you are asking about in the case of recommendation letter and you want to, it seems like the person asking the question wants to apply through the embassy track, right? So in the case of the recommendation letters that needs to be signed, actually without that signature across the back flap, it will render the recommendation letter invalid. So I think if you want that person to be your referee, you could suggest that he send you the hard copy of the recommendation letter, and then you can gather it with the rest of your application documents before you proceed and make the submission. But without that signature across the back flap, then the recommendation letter will not be considered for the application.
Thank you for your response, Dr. Jabir. So, someone is asking about the benefit of scholarship. Is it provided the round ticket? And secondly, Dr. Jabir Aliyu, can I get to link with you in social network for guidance, as I am life science student? So just you can contact us through the email. Inshallah, we will link you to whoever he is so that he can guide you through whatever you want. You need the guide. So I would like to call Karimatu. Karimatu, please, can you ask your question?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
My name is Karimatu. So my question is about someone mentioned the affidavit at Federal High Court, and he made mention of 2 places to go. So I'm confused of where to first go and the second place to go about the affidavit. And again, when I joined the meeting, I saw Dr. Jabir talking about the forms to be filled. So I saw the recommendation letter form. So are we to print out that one and send it to the school for the recommendation, or I'm going to talk to my school to provide the recommendation letter for me, like my HOD or dean or registrar, because I've already talked to them about the cover letter from my dean in school. So that's my question. Because I'm in Kaduna, I want to be in Abuja by tomorrow so that I will start with the authentication and the High Court affidavit. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jabir. If you have anything to answer here, the floor is yours.
Oh, yes. So I think if I get the question correctly with regards to the last part you talk about recommendation from the school. So I think this one doesn't necessarily mean that the form you need to submit it to your school to provide the recommendation. You can identify any of your lecturer who can access your abilities to conduct research, your character, your personality. He can be your recommender in this case. So what you need to do is that you should send him the soft copy of the recommendation so that he can fill it up, print it, sign it, and then put it in an envelope sealed and let his signature be across the back flap before he then proceed and hand it over to you. Then you attach it together with the rest of your document and proceed with the application. And I'm not quite sure if I get what you mean by the Federal High Court and the affidavit part. So if you could repeat the question, or if any one of my colleagues here could answer the question, then you can help with that part.
Mahmoud, do you get the
Okay.
question so that you can?
Generally, at the Federal High Court, you go to the Federal High Court, and the things you need to do there include there is, if you are not going there by yourself, there is what they call authorization letter, which you give to maybe some relative that is based there, and that relative will go to the Federal High Court and get the authorization letter for you that he is going to represent you. Then secondly, apart from that, which other one? Okay, yes, the schools, the courses and what you have studied in the university, that have attended so university, you need to cite that, the documents that you have, maybe your degree, first degree, second degree, maybe if you are going for PhD, and also the transcripts that you have, that like you are swearing an oath that they have been provided for you by that university. So you also need to do that for you to, those are the things that you need to do at the High Court. And also maybe as you are going there, you should make sure you take the documents that you are going to do certified true copy, so that you can do everything once and for all. And then also, I think time is almost against you. You have like less than a week or so. So you need to be there on time and make sure everything is done. Probably if you go to the High Court, you do everything on a single day.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer.
Okay, also another thing, proof of citizenship of parents. Some of us have lost their parents, so um, maybe you don't have an international passport or something like that for belonging to your parents, since maybe they are already dead. So you also need to provide like an oath from the court, an affidavit stating that my parents are deceased and they are citizens of Nigeria. So it is signed under oath and provided for you. So you attach it in place of proof of citizenship of your parents. I think that's also one of the documents you need to get from the High Court.
Bakr, sorry, I want to chip in something here.
Okay.
I want like either Aliu Jabir or Mahmoud to clarify the differences between recommendation letter, that is which you will include in your application, and then a reference letter from your university, which you will take it to Korean embassy for authentication. Did you understand? For example, you get it right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think maybe there is need for more clarification there.
Well, I think the one she made mention of was that she have already requested for the kind of letter from the university trying to explain that she has attended that university and she's graduated. I think she made mention about that part. And the question she was trying to answer is about the recommendation letter, whether it also needs to be submitted to the dean and all the registrar to fill that document for her. So I think the major difference is that for the letter of recommendation, your immediate supervisor can fill that one for you, not necessarily the dean or the registrar of the university you have attended. So in that case, you just need anybody that can assess your academic capabilities, your personality, or your characters. Let him fill that form and make mention about he highly recommend you for this scholarship. So whereas in that's the one you need to fill, the one that's attached to the application documents. But in the case of the one that you need to present to the embassy for your legalization, it's not attached to the documents. That one, it should be written in details from your university that so person was our student from this department and graduated from our university successfully. So the reason for that is that they just want to be sure that the documents you are presenting, they are authentic and they were given to you by that university. But in the case of the recommendation letter, it doesn't necessarily mean that it must be filled out from your university. It could be anybody that was your mentor or that has known you for a very long time, but preferably somebody that will access your academic capabilities since you're applying for academic related scholarship. So with this being said, I want to ask whether this has answered your question or not.
Yeah, I think it's very clear now.
Yes, thank you very much. I understand everything now. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you, Dr. Jabir. So I think we are going to the last person here. Yahya Lawan, you ask? Yahya Lawan. Like you already asked your question, right? Okay, I think he already asked his question. So we have only one question here remaining in the chat box. Someone is asking, can you also do us the honor by highlighting other scholarships in Korea? Like someone mentioned that he got scholarship in Kumo University. So I didn't get the question very well. So I don't know if anybody understand what uh they mean here.
I think what the person is trying to ask is whether there are other scholarships which are being offered in South Korea that he can apply for. I think that was the question he's asking.
Yeah, I think that's the question.
Yes.
Mhm. So, Mahmoud, if you have any other scholarship, and also Javier, if you have, but let's go with Mahmoud first.
I think Jabir is in a better position than me because he has been here for some time, so I'm sure he knows a lot of scholarships.
Okay, Javier, over to you.
So with regards to I think the most common form of scholarship here is the professor scholarship. So I think the best way to apply for such kind of scholarship is that you find a professor, you contact them through their email addresses, and then you discuss the possibility of being accepted into their lab. So how this works is that if the professor have a grant which can allow him to give admission to a student, then he will accept you into his lab, and then he will be the one to be responsible for your tuition fee and also your monthly upkeep. So I think you can also do that through contacting different professors, and you can see about their links, the activities they do in their lab through mostly the website of the institutions here in Korea. So you can just have a brief look at some of the institutions, and then you identify a professor whose research interest aligns with yours, and then you could contact them for further possibility of joining their lab. And also, I think there are some other regional scholarships provided here. And I think, and also some universities also do offer scholarships. For example, there is the Korean Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, known as the KAIST. They offer huge scholarship to applicants. You can also explore that option. There is also another university called the Gwangju Institute of Science and Technology also, and the acronym is GIST. They also offer different scholarships here in Korea, and these are highly, I think, recommended because these are some top universities in the world, and if you can be able to get there, go you could go on and achieve a lot of things. So I think you can do this either by contacting professors through their emails or checking the website of some universities.
Thank you so much. Regarding also, I just want to add something here. So though we are talking about the graduate scholarship, so what Jabir mentioned about the KAIST and the GIST, these two universities, they also offer undergraduate scholarship. So I just recently went to GIST, that is Gonju Institute of Science and Technology. We found out that there are undergraduate scholarship and there are only two applicants that benefit that benefit from that scholarship. I think from Ghana and Ethiopia or something like that. But all the undergraduates, because before there was no undergraduate, so but now they open undergraduate pool scholarship. So a person can come from anywhere in the world and do his undergraduate through in the university without paying anything. And also we met so many undergraduate from Mexico, from a lot of international students there. So I think you can check on the website, just search on the Google, and you can help your younger ones to apply for that scholarship. Thank you very much. So I think we all exhausted our question. I have one question here, which is going to be maybe the last question. Please, this document I mentioned, are we going to legalize or authenticate before applying or what? We need more guidance before applying so that it will be easier for us.
Okay, I think I'll answer this question. I think the problem most applicants face is when they hear that you need to apply, you need to like finish spending all the money through application, doing all the notarization and authentication even before your application. That's prior to application. Some just back off, but I think any investment you do in your future is not a waste. So what applicants need to understand is you just try and yes, you need to finish doing all these applications. You go to Abuja, you spend money, authenticate your documents, get a passport. But I think it is worth doing that. When you do it, you'll be eligible for the application. And that makes the scholarship to have less applicants because most people just back off when they hear that you need to go and authenticate your documents even before applying.
Okay.
And then if that answers the question, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I think
So I have some advices for the applicants here, which I've jotted down. Regarding those that are applying for the university scholarship, I have one tip for you here, which is it's better for you to obtain a reference letter from, or let me say acceptance from a supervisor based in the institution you're applying to. That will give you an edge over other applicants. And how you go about that is, I know while I was doing my application and I was doing it with a lot of my other friends, you find out that someone will tell you that he spends the entire night, that he's sending letters to, he will send letters to like 100 professors seeking to become their student or for them to accept them. But I think that is very wrong. There are some steps you need to take if you want to get acceptance from a professor. Someone maybe is, let's say, a biochemist. So he goes to probably all the Korean universities, just sends messages to everybody. He just sees their email, he sends message to them. And the messages they are sending usually contain information which is very different from the research interest of the professor they're applying to. So for you to get a reference, to get acceptance from a professor, you don't need to apply to like 50 or 100. What you need to do first is you identify your area of research interest, then you go to the particular department maybe that you want to get that. You search for those that are their research interests align with that, the research they are carrying out. So you also get some of their publications and read them. Then you email them a message which is tailored based on their research interests. I'll give you an example of what I did during one of the professors I contacted, because I know a friend told me that he spends the night, applied to about, is it 49, and he got only one reply. But what I did was I searched for the area of interest of that particular professor. I saw all his publications. So in the title of my email to him, I wrote research. I wrote after writing the application for acceptance as your student. Then I wrote in bracket primary research interest. I wrote research in mosquito. So he's an expert in mosquito, that particular professor. So the moment he sees that primary research interest, mosquito, it will capture his attention. If I go to somebody who is doing research, maybe in E. coli, and he sees that I say my primary research interest is mosquito, that would be a reason why I will apply to 100 people and none of them will reply to me. So I think that is a tip we should take. You don't have to apply to so many, but make sure any message you are sending is a very qualitative message that will attract the interest of the person you are sending to. Then for this particular scholarship we are talking about, which is GKS, I will advise that we start our applications very, very early. I think anybody that is starting up his application now is most likely not going to make it. So maybe you need like 4 months to do your application, during which you get everything ready. So you just wait. By the time they open the website, you download the application forms and you fill them with what you already have, and you have already done your notarization and every other thing. But nevertheless, if it happens to be that the application is closed before you finish, that should not discourage you. Because I will tell you, in my case, I actually started my application. I wanted to apply 2023, but I couldn't finish my application. So what I did was I concluded everything with the ministry. I did everything that is required for me to do the application. So I waited 2014, the moment, sorry, 2024, the moment they opened the application, I took out my initial application, then I transferred all the information to this new documents which I downloaded, and I submitted my documents, and I was lucky, alhamdulillah, to get it. So for those of us that are going to miss out, please, you can keep your documents and be ready next time. Or if you are in the middle of the application and you think you cannot make it, so once you have started, I know of people that have already spent more than 100,000 so doing the application, and they think they are not going to make it. So please take it to the logical conclusion. Make sure you complete your application, you complete all the notarization, you go to the embassy, they legalize your documents, because the 6 month period they are talking about there is for you to take it to the embassy. So once you have taken it to the embassy and you have the stamp of the embassy on your documents, so you are finished. And the next year, when you are submitting to the NIIED, nobody is talking about 6 months, because you have already done all that is necessary. So you make you make your submission at that time if you are late. So I think that's all I need to add. And we wish all of you success in your applications.
Yeah, thank you very much. What a wonderful presentation, Mahmoud. So I would like to just one question, because we exhausted a lot of time. So I think uh, we are reaching to the end of so though we have one question here, which is I think is important. Regarding to what you have just said, there is one also is asking about the how much person is going to spend throughout the application process. So I think you mentioned that you need to, I don't know how much, but maybe if anyone can answer this, because I skip it before. Then while you are mentioned that you need to spend some money, so I think maybe if there is need for clarification of how much person can spend on the application process, Mahmoud, you can also add on that.
Okay. The application in itself is not really what you spend money on, because like the embassy, maybe you are going to legalize 6 or 7 documents, and each of them 6,000, so it will be less than 40,000. Then also at the ministries, the money you spend that will not be more than 20,000. So you can see, all in all, it's not much. But where the problem lies is maybe your transportation to Abuja and you need to get bolt from one end to the end, maybe you pay 5. So at the end of the day, that one will depend on your movement. But I will advise you, because during my own application, I think last 2 years when I started my application, I spent almost the entire Ramadan in Abuja trying to do this. So what I advise my friends that are doing it now is, you don't really need to be there by yourself, because I later realized about the issue of someone representing you, which is what you get an authorization letter from the court. So you can, instead of you going to Abuja, because maybe from Katsina, for example, if you are going to Abuja, maybe your transportation, you spend like 10,000 just to get there. And when you get there, the money you spend in Abuja is even more. So if you have somebody maybe very close to you that you know will go to it will commit himself to do it for you, I think it's better to send it to that person. So you just pay him for the transport. Maybe the money you spend to go there will be enough for his entire transportation over the entire period that he will be helping you to do that. Then he needs to go to the high court and get a letter for confirming that he is your representative, that's letter of authorization. So he can take all your documents to the embassy without you going there. Otherwise, if you say you go down by yourself, maybe you spend more money. So it is really, the application itself is not what you spend a lot of money on, but rather maybe on your personal maintenance while you are in Abuja doing all the application requirements. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Mahmoud. I think if you are applying scholarship, you have to be ready, because it's a process of a due process. So you need to spend uh, I cannot say a lot of money, but a little bit of money, because you are just investing on yourself and try to get something. You cannot just do something free and get it for. So just try to be ready and uh, try to tighten your belt in making all the application process. So I don't know if Jabir, if you have anything to add before we close.
I think Mahmoud has said a lot and really important information with regards to the scholarship, both the GKS and also other forms of scholarship. So he has covered almost everything. But on top of it, I'll just cap it off with advice that although we acknowledge that this is a tedious process, it takes a long time, a lot of energy and resources, but it's totally worthwhile that you don't want to miss out on. It's a transformative journey that you can take. It can change your life. So I do recommend it, regardless of how difficult it's going to be. But the end result is totally worth it. And also know that scholarships comes along with a lot of rejections. So you should take all those rejections as a blessings, as just a minor setback for a major comeback. And likewise, you should pray hard and work hard. I always used to say that you should pray for it as if you'll never work for it, and also work for it as if you'll never pray for it. So you just need to be giving it your best at every moment. And then once the moment is there, you're going to achieve what you want. So I think with this, I wish you all the very best and hope to meet some of you here in Korea. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jabir. You
Mm.
just you just nailed the uh, you just nailed it. So I would like to call on one of the president of the Gamji Educational and Mentorship Forum, so that he can do some closing remark. And on this note, I would like to call Dr. Buhari. Dr. Buhari, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bakar, and thank you very much to our wonderful presenters, Muhammad Bago and Javir Aliyu. We have already take so much time, so I will not take much of a time. But actually, it's a really wonderful presentation. You guys, you really did a a good job, and I'm sure the participant have understand like the GKS process, and I hope they will utilize this information that we have getting today to maximize their application and use it to their advantage in their application. Like what the speakers have mentioned, it's not an easy task, but you really need to tighten your belt and get through it. After you finish, when you get the scholarship, you will look back and say, yeah, it's just really worth it. Before we close, I would like to also give one little tip, which is for some of you that applying through embassy track. If you apply through embassy and it happens that uh, you didn't get selected, then you can quickly apply to university track, because the application period for the embassy is usually short, like it will end on 24th February, but the application for the university track, it will be up to the first week or somewhere middle of the April to for the application. So in case you apply through embassy and your application get rejected, then you can quickly get to application, find a university that has longer application period, and you switch to the university. Some of the previous or at least they have done this and they were successful. So this is just a little bit of a tip in case you apply through embassy and it happens that you didn't get selected. So thank you very much, Dr. Abakar, for well coordinating the webinar, and thank you once again uh, our presenters. That's all what I can see. And uh, some of you have been complaining about you send the email to Gamji. I think I had one uh, complaining. Yeah, sometimes actually because we receive a lot of messages, so sometimes we skip some of the emails. So if that happens, you can just send us a reminder through the email, then we can see it and we will reply to you, inshallah. And you can contact us on all our social media as well as through our Gamji email address. It has been shared already, and also I've shared the our WhatsApp mentees group. You can join, and if you have any question, you can ask there. And we always advertise various scholarships across the globe. And if you have any question or some clarification or mentorship, we can uh, we can take it from there. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. This is the president of the Gamji Educational and Mentorship Forum. So you can, lastly, you can all connect with us through our social media handles in Facebook, in LinkedIn, and other social media handles. You can just search Gamji Educational and Mentorship Forum. You can send message there, or you can email us. All our information are there. You can just send us email or chat. So inshallah, we are going to respond to you. So I think here we come to the end.
Before that, sorry, Abakar, I think I will maybe Abdul Yusuf Megoro would like to say some few words.
Okay. Sorry, Doctor, we have an important personnel here, which is going to say one or two words. Dr. Ibrahim, Dr. Abdul Qadir, my guru, the virtual mic is over to you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Special thanks to the presenters and the host, Dr. Abubakar. Thank you so much for your presentation, Dr. Mahmoud and Dr. Jabir, and all the listeners as well. A special thanks to the president for his tireless effort. And I don't have much to say rather than a key statement usually added in form of motivation that says you can do anything other people can do, only you can do it better. So whoever like achieves something in life, it's not rocket science, it's not a miracle. It's more of effort and prayer, and don't see it as something very special. Yeah, just do the needful, and many people don't get it the first time, so don't put to your mind that I have to get it the first time I apply. It doesn't happen like that. Uh, there is another statement that says that when you are told about the success story, you cannot differentiate it with failure. It means if someone is telling you how he succeed, you'll feel like this is not a success. You already failed because of the struggle he or she had during the process. So just keep on trying and explore more other opportunities apart from Gamji, apart from the GKS, and keep on praying. Thank you so much for listening. And we are welcome to receive any of your query in Gamji through our platforms. Thank you.
This is a golden advice from our able Dr. Abdul Qadir Meguru, which is one of our mentors here in Gamji since the creation of Gamji Educational and Mentorship Forum. I think here we come to the end of this webinar. So I will say thank you very much for the participant for joining this webinar, and also we wish you all best in your application. And then lastly, please avoid using ChatGPT while you try to tailor all your application. Try to make it by yourself, do it by yourself. Inshallah, one day you will have your yes. So thank you so much for all the participants, and also thank you for all the presenters, my colleagues. Also, thank you very much for all your joining this webinar. So see you and best of luck in all your application. Thank you very much.